Let me ask you something. Have you ever been rejected by someone, ghosted, ignored, or told straight up that they just don't feel the same way, only to have them suddenly reappear in your life like nothing ever happened? At first, you're confused. You wonder, why now? What changed? And deep down, a part of you wants to believe it's real. That maybe they finally realized your worth, that maybe they see now what they didn't before. But let me tell you the truth. Not all returns are genuine. Sometimes they're not coming back because they miss you. They miss the attention. They miss the comfort. Or worse, they just hate seeing you happy without them. In this video, we're going deep. I'm going to break down the 5 real reasons why someone who rejected you might come back. And most importantly, how to see through the lies and protect your energy. This isn't about bitterness. It's not about revenge. It's about clarity. About understanding the psychology behind why people play these games. So you never fall for it again. So if you've ever been left wondering why someone who didn't want you suddenly acts like they do, stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and how to respond with strength, self-respect, and unshakable confidence. Let's get into it. 1. They miss the attention. Let's face it, sometimes when someone circles back into your life, it has less to do with you and more to do with the way you made them feel. Maybe they didn't appreciate it at the time. Maybe they thought your attention, your kindness, and your emotional investment would always be there. But once it stopped, once you pulled back and moved on, they started to feel the emptiness. What they're actually missing isn't always you. It's the attention, the validation, the compliments, the late night talks, the comfort of knowing someone genuinely cared. You were their ego boost, even if they never said it out loud. Now that you're not feeding that anymore, they feel the void and they want it filled again. So they show up, they text you out of nowhere. Maybe they like a couple of your posts or comment something vague. It's all just a test to see if they still have access to your energy. Here's what you need to understand. If someone is only returning because their ego is hungry, they will leave again once they're full. This cycle can be exhausting and unfair to you. You're not here to be someone's emotional safety net when it suits them. You're not a pit stop for someone who doesn't know what they want. Guard your energy. If they're not here with real intentions, let them stay gone. You deserve more than being someone's comfort zone when they're bored or insecure. You deserve consistency, respect, and effort, not just attention when it benefits them. 2. Fear of missing out, FOMO. Have you ever noticed how people suddenly become interested again when they see you thriving without them? That's FOMO, fear of missing out, and it's one of the biggest reasons people try to come back after walking away. At first, they might not have seen your worth. Maybe they thought the grass was greener somewhere else, but once they see you moving on, glowing up and living your life without them, they start to panic, especially if they see you doing things you never did when you were with them, like traveling more, spending time with new people, or just looking genuinely happy. That triggers something in them. Suddenly, they're hit with a wave of what ifs. What if I gave up too soon? What if someone else sees what I didn't? What if they were actually the one? But here's the thing, they're not necessarily coming back because they want a deep connection or because they've changed. They're coming back because the idea of someone else having you bothers them. Their ego can't handle the thought that you're better off without them. This isn't love. This isn't maturity. This is insecurity. It's a selfish fear of being left behind or replaced. And if you let them back in based on that fear, you might find yourself right back where you started, confused, frustrated, and unfulfilled. So when someone comes back out of FOMO, don't rush to welcome them in. Take your time, pay attention to their actions, not just their words. You want someone who chooses you confidently, not someone who only wants you because they're afraid someone else might. 3. Loneliness or convenient timing. Let's be real, loneliness hits hard. And for some people, that's the exact reason they come crawling back. It's not because they had some grand realization about who you are or because they suddenly fell in love with you again. Nope. It's often just convenient. Maybe things didn't work out with someone else. Maybe life got tough and they felt isolated. Suddenly, they remember how safe and loved they felt when they were with you. You were warm, dependable, kind. You made them feel like they mattered. So now, when they're low, they think of you as a safe place to land. But let's be honest, that kind of return isn't about you. It's about them. It's about what they need in that moment. You become a temporary fix for their emotional void, a band-aid for their loneliness. They may reach out with sweet words, old memories, or even apologies. But you have to ask yourself, why now? What changed? Are they coming back to build something real, or just to feel better for a little while? Convenience is not commitment. Loneliness is not love. And you deserve someone who's with you because they want you, not because they can't stand being alone. So if someone reappears right after a breakup or during a hard time in their life, be cautious. Don't fall for nostalgia or temporary affection. Pay attention to whether their intentions are rooted in real effort or emotional convenience. Your time and energy are valuable. Don't waste them on someone who only remembers your worth when they feel empty. 4. Genuine regret and realization. Now, let's talk about the rare one, the person who comes back with real regret. This isn't just about missing attention or fighting off loneliness. This is deeper. It's someone who's had time to think, reflect, and genuinely understand what they lost. Maybe they didn't treat you right before. Maybe they were immature, distracted, or didn't know what they wanted. But being away from you showed them your true value. They've felt the emptiness. They've experienced what life is like without your presence, your support, your love, and it hit them hard. When someone comes back with real regret, their energy is different. It's not just flirty texts or emotional crumbs. It's consistent, they communicate with clarity, they respect your space. They don't rush you or expect everything to go back to how it was. They're willing to rebuild from the ground up, and most importantly, they show it. Not with flowers or fancy gestures, but with effort, accountability, and time. They don't just say, I've changed. They prove it in how they treat you, how they listen, and how they show up for you every day. Still, you don't have to rush into forgiving or forgetting. Take your time. Let their actions tell the story. Because real regret doesn't fade after a few weeks. It sticks. And if they're serious, they'll be willing to put in the work. You deserve someone who not only understands your worth, but never forgets it again. 5. Curiosity and uncertainty. And finally, we come to one of the most irritating reasons someone might return. Plain old curiosity. They're not back because they love you, not because they're ready for a real relationship, but because they're wondering, could I still have them if I wanted? It sounds harsh, but this happens more often than people realize. They see you doing well, maybe they're reminiscing, maybe they're bored, and they want to know, are you still emotionally available? Do you still care? Is the door still open? So they drop a subtle text. They react to your story. They like your old photo. It's all a way of testing the waters, without ever getting their feet wet. They want to see if they still have access without offering anything real. This kind of behavior is confusing because it's inconsistent. 1 minute they're present, the next they vanish again. There's no clarity, no follow-through, just little gestures that keep you guessing. Don't fall for it. You're not someone's emotional experiment. You're not here to be a backup option or a curiosity they poke at when they're unsure. You deserve someone who shows up fully, who communicates openly, commits honestly, and doesn't play games with your heart. So if someone comes back with vague intentions and half-hearted effort, it's okay to close that door. You don't need to entertain someone who doesn't even know what they want. Curiosity isn't commitment, and you deserve nothing less than the real thing.